Good evening. Oh, I see. People are in ads, I think. But hello, everybody. Let's see who is here. Mr. Wappa, hello. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. I shall hydrate as well. Mr. Kupo, hello. Sean Wenz, hello. Lamp, bruh. Smoked Out, hello. Shones, hello. Thrash and Tony, hello. Ewan, ODM, hello. Harry Smallwood, party time, hello. And yes, this is the floating key TKL and not the 75%. Yeah, I think that's correct. Let me know if the music's too loud or anything. Hi Lisa, how are you? Hubert the Mad, hello. Retoid, hello. Jishi, hello. How's it going, guys? Good to see you all. Alright. You guys want to see a hairball? We were brushing kiwi earlier. Squishy. Ball of fur. He sheds during the seasonal changes, and especially right now it's kind of dry and whatnot, so he's been shedding a bit. We brush him every so often just to keep him nice and soft. Do you always showing us his balls? Feeding you the best content I can. It's free real estate. Harry Ball. Yeah. Harry Ball. Alright. So today we're going to be modding a Realforce GX1, I believe it's called. I've never done one of these before, so just bear with me if I fumble around a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of like the gamer version of Realforce boards. It's sort of like a successor to the Realforce RGB, if I recall correctly. And so it actually comes with Topre sliders. With MX sliders, my bad. MX Topre sliders. And it also has a low profile case. So it's going to be like floating keycap type. So let's actually take this out of the box here. So it comes with it's just a manual and stuff. Okay, so it's still a TKL, like the R2 or like the RGB, but it has it's like a floating case like this. So you have exposed. Oh, what the? There we go. It has exposed switches, and so it still has an integrated cable, which is an interesting choice as well. Still an integrated cable here. There it is, USB. Looks like the owner of the board, the client, put GMK. I guess this is Wasabi, right? GMK Wasabi. And so as far as the specs of the board, so this is a 2024 Realforce board called the GX1. And yeah, so it kind of looks like that. Has a Realforce logo, laser etched rather, on the back, and then engraved here on the plastic portion below. Lightning, hello Rienfo. Yeah, not the Miku board. And it has a 6.25U bottom row. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Rage Killer, yo, how's it going? Has numpad? No numpad, as far as I'm aware. What the? Wow, there's a lot of static. The air is too dry. It's like everything's like causing my cameras to go in and out. Look at that. Oh, jeez. Crazy. Okay. So what I was gonna do is I was going to just test that it works. So let me see, where is the it's just switch hitter is fine. So let's just test that it works on switch hitter. So before you start modding anything, it's always good to just make sure everything's working. Caps lock is by default on my computer is going to be left control. That's why it just doesn't show as caps lock. There's your stabs, stock stabs. I think that's FN. All right, cool. So, you know, I can do a quick little typing. So, you know, I can just do like why is the Y key red? Oh, it's just because I press it kind of fast, so it actuates like it's like ghosting, like it has like either ghosting or chatter. But that's just because I press it really fast. But it should be fine. You know, upon retesting, it's pretty much the same. But it's like useful if you have like a chattering switch. I can show. All right. So everything's good, but as you can see, the stabs are pretty loud. The shorter keys are actually okay, but they're not excellent either, especially the shift here. This one's fine. The enter needs some work. The backspace is okay. So that's just kind of like the gist of the stock condition of the case. So let's go ahead and tear it apart. So we can first start by taking off the keycaps. Mason, why didn't people add weights? I actually was typing that. Why didn't people add weights? Just marketing. Aesthetics? Gian does internal and external weights. Absolute nonsense. People saying Jane V2 sounds so great because it has perfect weight placement distribution. You say all this is BS. You say Alu resonate on sound waves same as denser materials. Why so many questions and so few answers? Alright, let's go ahead and take it apart. It's an interesting case, to say the least. It kind of feels like... Okay, so just from taking a quick look at it, it's like a very funny construction. It has a bent steel top, essentially. You can see that, right? You see the bent steel over the plastic case, and then you have this plastic enclosure basically to hold all this stuff together. But yeah, the top is basically the plate, and it's just bent steel. and it just bent over a piece of plastic. So kind of a good, it's like a way to really reduce on cost. I actually do wonder how much they sell this for. I actually have not looked into the retail pricing of this board, but I can imagine they're charging quite the premium for a board that's rather simple construction wise. Bent steel and sex appeal. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. So it is like kind of like my first time opening one of these up, so I did have to look up how to open it up, and it looks like it uses some screws from the top side, and then I believe there's a few screws on the bottom side as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and first take off all the keycaps. That's step one. Floating key is certainly an interesting choice. Yeah, it's a choice in the in today's date and year. You know, it's just kind of out there. Stabilizers are rather interesting. It's almost like at first you might think it's like Co-Star, but kind of not quite. Sorry about the fur or whatever there. But like the stabilizers sort of come up like that. They do have a wire similar to Cherry style, so there's kind of like Cherry style, but very different molded piece. And so those are like pseudo Cherry sort of style stabilizer for MX caps. Interesting choice as well. It looks like the spacebar has a little bit of like a landing pad for the like in foam. So if you take a look here, actually, let me see if I can zoom it in. If you take a look here, there's a little piece of foam on top of the stem over there, and then like a little piece of like rubber pad here to also kind of attenuate the downstroke, I think. So another interesting choice for the spacebar only. So yeah. Okay, the back does have kind of like the typical like OEM keyboard flip feet, so you can like incline it even more. You kind of get a much steeper sort of incline, but yeah, I personally don't love these flip feet for keyboards, but some people do, and they always use them. I know that for a fact that, like, you know, when people still use just all OEM, like before when I was still using OEM stuff, I certainly did at some point. But yeah, it's another choice that I think nowadays I probably wouldn't use. Okay, so let me see. So the GX1 has a bunch of screws. So there's these Phillips Plus shaped screws. There's maybe like 10 or so screws on the top. So let's take those off. And that kind of connects the top piece with the bottom. So I have so far 5 screws, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's 10 of them of this particular shape. Okay. The yellowing is magnificent. Yeah. Okay, so you kind of do that, and then once those are removed, you must remove the bottom case screws along the top of the case. Okay. So, and then there are 4 screws. One is covered by the warranty sticker, so unfortunately we'll have to void that sticker. So we get, let's get the 3. 1. These are also large Phillips size screws. Okay, so now let's take carefully. Do you use WSD for arrows? Or I use the latter. I use the HHKB style arrows for arrows. So that would be, yeah, the diamond on the right side. Okay. Okay, let's take out 4 screws and then put this to the side for a sec. And then they say that the top part just kind of comes right off, and that indeed seems to be the case. So it just comes right off. We have a connected integrated cable here, so we'll just take it off from the JST here, and that's it. That's the bottom case with the cable. Simple as that. The cable is removable. So, all right, and now we have kind of like a much more typical Topre assembly, which is our electrocapacitive PCB with a lot of screws. So you have some silver ones, smaller silver ones, and then these black ones as well that tap into the case. So let's go ahead and remove some of the larger ones first. Maybe I will use another tray. Oh, I meant, like, is there not a USB-C port? Which I saw it doesn't. No, there's no USB-C port. It's just a cable. I use arrows for arrows. HKB smells. Please, it's not that bad. Do you like using trays with magnets or without? Kind of depends. Sometimes I prefer magnets for some of the smaller screws or smaller components that escape my hands, or are very likely to roll off and drop somewhere and I can't ever find them. Like springs, that kind of stuff, super useful to have something magnetic. But I'll say that if it's not something like that, then I'm okay with just having a non-magnetic one, yeah. It doesn't have to be magnetic, but it is convenient in some regards. See, like that. I don't know why my hands feel like butter today. Just a long day, I guess. Okay. Had a long day today. It was just full of meetings. The worst type of work day. Just meetings, 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 meetings. Oh, hi, Kiwi. Oh, hi. You don't want to be here, do you? You're like about to leave. Oh, bye, Kiwi. He came and he left. Just like that. Nothing productive came out of it, I'm guessing. Surprisingly okay, actually. Productivity-wise, it was fine. I actually did quite a lot of stuff today. But I think the part that for me is the worst about a lot of meetings is how draining they feel. Like specifically, it's the attention portion. Okay, so you know how like there's bigger meetings where you just kind of sit back and you just listen to someone else talking or whatever? And there's like the smaller meetings where you do have some back and forth to be done and you sit there waiting kind of like for your turn, but then like you kind of have to be paying attention for that, because if you miss it, that's kind of embarrassing. I had a lot of the latter, and so in a way it was just tiring because I just had to have my eyes peeled for it. May I ask which field you work in? I'm an engineer. I'm like in R&D type of stuff. So I have meetings with third parties, I have meetings internally. Hardware stuff, not software. Yeah, sort of like, yeah, I would say mostly a good bit of hardware. Software, some, much less, I would say. I used to work in more software stuff, but these days it's a little bit more hands-on. So there's like contractors and parts to be ordered and talking to people about like quality checks. Are you finally done with school? Yes, I've been done for the past half year or so. See, the secret is from working remotely and never paying attention to any of your meetings and just autopiloting. Look, Reinfo, if I could have a job that I could do that for, that would be great. But the job I got is not like that, so I unfortunately cannot do that. As it is, I also go in like 4 out of 5 days of the weekdays, so it's like quite a lot of in-office time, so to speak. I hear you can save a ton in 7 years from now with one neat trick. What? Have you decided whether you're going to pay your loans or not yet? Oh, I see. I do still have some loan like balance from back when. I'll eventually pay it off. But they're relatively low interest, so it's not a big priority for me. It doesn't really hover over my head like it bothers me that much, so it's not so bad, I think. Just in time for bankruptcy, chat? Oh, there's an easier way to bankruptcy than that. It's just called artisans or something. Keycaps, artisans, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's easier with works with group buys too. That's right. Yeah, just go in on group buys with your favorite Texas vendors, and you'll go to bankruptcy right away. or become one of them, I guess. So I have this kind of stand from Mr. Nihon Jam sent out these little plate stands, sort of. Oh wait, actually, maybe I shouldn't. I don't need to use these for now. Don't need these bump-ups right now. Plate PFUHHKB. Arrows point in. So does this like kind of hold stuff, I assume? Oh, I see. Maybe I'll do the plate side. Okay. Actually, technically, I can just flip it over. For now. Moon TKL V2 shipping any day now. Trust. Fuck. I hate you. Do not remind me of such atrocities. Okay. Almost everything came off intact. Oh, except for these domes. These domes kind of stuck to this guy here. Oh, interesting. These domes are kind of self-aligned in the sense that they have these little RGB LEDs. Interesting, interesting. Okay, and then the little shift and the control. Very interesting. Okay. Okay, not much alignment to worry about here, really. So this is our PCB and dome sheet. We have to be careful with this, so I'm just gonna put it away somewhere safer, so I don't mess with it. I think the best way is honestly just to move some of the things here. Just to place it on top here carefully. This one I know it's gonna move anyway, so it's fine. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so now is the time to mod a few things. So GMK nervous on the boat, guys, on the way to the great state of Texas as we speak. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's take a look. So we have MX sliders, Topre MX sliders. We have these clear housings, kind of similar to the Realforce RGB. I do see that these guys actually already have silencing rings. I actually did not know that, but they are silenced. So if I remove a slider, it comes off with a silencing ring. So they have silencing rings, these guys. So we're just gonna take off all the little sliders over here. So just carefully remove them. Did you throw out the variable sheet from my commission? Did you ask me to keep it? Did I not put it back in the box? If I didn't, then I probably still have it. I certainly don't think I throw out that kind of stuff. I usually keep any extra stuff because you never know when I need it. There's times when like a client wants it, or like, you know, like I can use spare parts from other stuff. I didn't ask, it wasn't there. That's weird. Are you sure? I can double check though. I don't remember having any spare Topre parts laying about. One of my predictions for this year was already wrong. What was one of your predictions for this year? Was it no vendors fail, or what? 2025 is the year of classic beige. Damn, that's also another hopium. Big time. Oh, space cables. I actually managed to resolve a chargeback for one of Space Cable's orders, which is a real shame, to be quite frank with you. And please check my DM. At Jorge, please check my DM. Poor guy. It's so funny, but oh well. Oh, interesting, right? So, so typically the stabilizers will come off all together because they would, you know, in OEM Topre you have these 2U stabilizer inserts and everything, but here the stab is kind of plate mounted and it's separate from the slider. It's independent from that. So here you actually lube the housing just like normal Topre, instead of lubing the wire on like a 2U like assembly. So quite interesting. What parts are these? So this is a Topre Realforce GX1. These are the stock parts. These are completely stock parts from the board. It's kind of similar to the Realforce RGB. So these housings, the sliders, everything is stock from the GX1. I believe it uses a 45 gram dome weighting. Oops. Gotta be careful. Some of these are shifting around a little. I mean, actually the shift and the controller are already shifting anyway. But yeah, everything else is stock though. Actually, maybe I'll put it like that. Okay, that's better. All right. So let's I guess the first thing to do is I should just go ahead and lube these. Let me just double check because it's clear. Just need to double check everything's good. Okay. Okay, so that's the rail. Okay, so orientation of the rails. And then I'll do the stabs afterwards, I guess. Cool. So what's kind of nice is that the parts are sort of independent from each other, so it's a quite easy job here. So let's go ahead and get some micro applicators. It's low profile, yeah. Have you seen Squid Game? Yeah, I did watch Squid Game season 2. Did you? Did you finish? Not yet. I've been hearing mixed reviews. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I think people's expectations are a little too high. And also, I think people's expectations didn't change enough. Like, the problem with Squid Game is that it had such a big wow factor for the first season because it was the first exposure to everybody. Like, everyone was seeing it for the first time. They were being exposed to this whole idea of like kind of like these folk games put into this like fatal battle royale type of thing, right? It's shocking the first time you see it, but because that premise is already gone, you have to continue with the story. But in order to do so, you're kind of operating on a completely different starting point. And so I think people's expectations were might have been a little bit skewed in one way, and so I've heard mixed reviews too, and I think I understand where the frustration comes in. But at the same time, I don't know. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was good. I don't remember following you, but I'm glad I did. Hi. Nothing but G? Squid Game is now mystery of who behind it? Yeah. When's the lightning cord? My Sassy Girl Watch-a-thon. Okay. It's a little hard to see this. Huh. I don't like these micro applicators. Hold on, let me get some new ones. I should have a pack of them over here. When are you watching Arcane S2, Apothecary Diaries, S2, and or Link Click prequel? Ugh, I have so much to catch up on. I've been really slow watching stuff. Okay, so the thing about watching Arcane, for example, is that I'm watching Arcane with my partner, so it's like we both have to be in the mood to watch it, and we're also watching something like we were watching Shogun. My partner's been watching what's that show called? What is it called? She was watching Interview with the Vampire. So she's been entertained by that one. And so we kind of like watch different shows, and so when it comes to watching something in common, it takes a little bit of coordination. So I think when it comes to watching shows in common, we tend to be a little bit slower with being caught up. It's like one episode every every now and then. Sometimes when we have an actual weekend for ourselves, then we get to watch like several at a time, like just like a couch session, just like, you know, watch many episodes at once. But yeah, it's a little bit rarer, I guess. So I think that's kind of been what's holding us up. Same with Link Click, I'm also watching that with her. Apothecary Diaries, actually she didn't enjoy it as much, and so I kind of so I'll probably catch up with that pretty soon. Shogun's so good. Show me the way of the Japans. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yabushi-sama. If I were to see you, a woman from the Japans. It's so funny because his speech is, you know, he's supposed to be what, British or whatever. But he has a little bit of that, like, almost sounds like a Spanish accent. So it's pretty funny, to me at least, as a Spanish speaker and as someone who knows what that sounds like. Bring me back my men. Hey, Rodriguez. Fuck you, you piece of shit. Where are my guns? Those damn Portuguese. Yeah, it's very funny. I thoroughly enjoy watching the show, and like in many ways, like it's I've heard it's a pretty interesting, like some creative liberties on adapting what it's based on, which is a book. I thought it was done pretty well. It's a very good show. I'm like on the latter half of it right now. I'm like on episode like 8. I think there's like 10 or 11 episodes. I'm like on episode like 8, I think. 7 or 8. I think I just finished 7. Everyone fighting him not to pull the trigger. Yeah. It's a good show. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Still need to watch the first season of Squid Game? Oh, you should. It's fun. Watching the first season of Squid Game is entertaining because, yeah, it's just the first round. It's really fun. I think it can be a little bit too much, but at a time, so it's like I can't just. Sometimes I just don't binge watch those shows. A little bit too intense, I feel. But everyone has different ways of consuming TV. I definitely have been watching a lot less these days, like TV, movies, that kind of stuff. Or rather, just been a little bit slower about it. I finished Dun 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 just recently. That was something I was watching with my partner as well. We've been watching Gravity Falls. So technically she already watched it, but I hadn't, and so she was like, "Oh, you should really watch it. It's pretty fun. There's like fun little ciphers too." And so we're watching like season 1 of Gravity Falls. Pretty fun as well. Is Shogun the show with the scene of the white guy showing the Japanese people how to dive off a ship? Yes, that's the one. That dude, hot AF. Hot AF. I've been trying to get more into TV because I barely watch it. It's so much stuff to watch. That's true. It is a lot. I mean, you know, just like movies, like you just kind of take your time and just tackle your list down one by one when you feel like it. I think that's the thing. You just have to feel like doing it. I'm not a compulsive TV watcher like some people can be. Like some people just like TV is such an ingrained thing. Like it's like they just watch TV at the end of a day sort of thing, or like they multitask and watch TV all the time, kind of like while they're doing other stuff, and it's just like the easiest way for them to consume. I actually am not like that as much. So for me, TV and like TV consumption or movie consumption is a little bit more of it's a little bit of a willful kind of interaction. Like it needs to be a very like intentional thing. I think like I tend to, if I'm just watching stuff by myself, I have an easy time multitasking, like watching like anime or watching like a drama or something while I'm doing other stuff, you know, like whether it's like lubing switches to like just like, you know, doing like working on something or something like that. It's fine, but yeah, don't do it all the time. It just depends on my mood a lot. Doesn't come as naturally, I would say. Juan, hello, how are you? Think you're reading the new Hunter x Hunter chapters? Gonna take forever for the anime to catch up? Oh, I bet. Got introduced to Velocipastor the other week and I cried laughing. What the hell is that? I actually don't even know what that is. What's Velocipastor? Am I missing something clearly? It's like a B movie, but it's hilarious unless you don't get the humor. Oh. Interesting. We'll keep in mind. Just watched Nosferatu over the weekend. Great watch. Oh, okay. Interesting. I'll check it out too. Sounds fun. I think especially going to the movies, for example, like beyond TV, like movies are an endeavor, okay? Like, it's not the going part, it's how costly movies are now. Do you guys feel that too? Like, it's like it better be fucking good, you know, for how much you're paying. How expensive movies are with, like, you can't even get like concessions and stuff. It's just expensive. So it's like, if you're going to the movies, it better be a worthwhile time. So even with people saying like, oh yeah, big hit at the box office, I'm like, What's that movie that recently screened? It's the something robot, the one with Lupita Nyong'o as one of the voices. That one was fine. The animation was good, the illustration was really good, but the storyline had a lot of holes. So that one I felt a little bit ripped off paying to go watch it, even though I enjoyed the artwork, so to speak. The flow and the storyline had some holes that I personally felt bothered by. Not Wall-E, no. Also, if you guys are watching for the first time here and have any questions about what I'm doing, you can always feel free to ask. Or how I'm doing stuff, whatever it is. Always welcome to ask. Was it where the robot adopts the bird? Yeah, the DreamWorks. Hi, I'm new here. What are you doing? You're not new here. What the hell? But I am lubricating a Topre keyboard, which is different from an MX assembly. You have to lube the housings that contain the sliders rather than the sliders themselves. But I use a micro applicator instead of a brush because it ends up with like slightly more even application of the lube on the housings, and also the size kind of fits more perfectly than using a brush. So I prefer these micro applicators. They're just, you know, disposable, one-time use kind of thing, over the brushes, just because also the brushes, when you brush, like the first bit of lube that comes from the brush, it's gonna be a little bit heavier, and then you like spread it, right? But with micro applicators, you don't really have to do that. Also, hi Eric, how are you? Anything fun these days? How's life? Any good food these days? I most recently finally got to try Potluck Club for brunch. It was pretty good actually. It's pretty yummy. Coat was fun. Was that your first time at Coat? No way, right? I doubt it. I feel like you've already tried it before. But Coat is always good. Yeah, Coat is a good time. I last went with a college friend of mine who was visiting town. Yeah, first time? First time? Damn. Really? I feel like you're such a foodie, dude. I feel like you would have been to all these places before. Maybe you're a bigger foodie like in Japan or Korea or something than here. And that said, it is a lot cheaper. And it's also food that you maybe, you know, you just crave more. Getting a resi there isn't that easy. Okay, that's actually true. Code is definitely difficult, especially if you're trying to go over like the weekend or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, every single time I've been like on a weekday, like not at an odd hour, but still take some work to get a reservation. But yeah. We're making Eric come next time I visit. Shake my SMH. Bet I'll go again. What do you order? Do you just get the regular Butcher's Feast or whatever it's called? That one's pretty good. There's like their like course menu that they have. Not the omakase. That the really expensive one is like kind of pricey and it's quite a lot. Peasant Feast. Is that what it's called now? I think the expensive one, maybe we just go Hyun again. Yeah, I agree. Hyun, I think, was pretty good because there's that like all you can eat portion at the end with like you can get any of your favorite cuts. I think that was nice about Hyun. I think I mean, I still kind of think I wish we went to Hyun not at that odd hour that we went. That, you know, obviously it was because we didn't have a choice. But it was so late that I felt like I didn't eat as much as I wanted. But it was good. It was really good. Young. Oh, speaking of Young, I met Frank Inomoshiki. Frank, the designer of the ASCII F. It's funny that like, he was in town at the same time I built the board, right? But I saw him. I met up with him for dinner. He was visiting for work, very very briefly, and so we met up for dinner. Camp eating at 11 p.m. Yeah. I'm an old now and fall asleep every time I go to the actual theater. Oh, Saunter. Movies are fun to me still. I mean, I love movies, by the way. I love movies and theater. Have you seen Wicked, also Thrash and Tony? I saw Wicked a very long time ago, but not the new current one with the current cast. I saw Wicked a very long time ago. My Happy Marriage Season 2 is out. Okay, I was just catching up with some of the old chat. Hello, Amarid. 11 p.m. is second dinner? That's crazy. 11 p.m. I'm getting ready for bed, you know? He went to New York City? Yeah. He came to New York for work. He was doing a shoot. If you don't know, Frank is a very talented photographer, very skilled. He does photography for Eater, I believe. But yeah, he does photography, food photography for like restaurant stuff. Really good stuff. But yeah, he was here for work. Oh, Bouquet Bob, hello. Thanks for the raid. How are you guys? Welcome. Hi, go. Old man, that's dad. I mean, he is dad. He is a dad, yes. He was, did he let you pay? I actually think, we did Dutch pay. Like, we split the bill, I think. He never lets you pay? Oh, baby. Never lets the baby who best pay. Understandable. Twitch is bugging because I don't see Tony's messages. No, it was way earlier. I smelled Topre. What's up? ELH Customs. Yo, I the musician. Ariella Studies, hello. Doper Tuesday? Yeah, doper indeed. Shailakitas, Happy New Year to you too. Almost Lunar New Year, actually. We're like a couple weeks away now. Burrowing Owl, hello. How goes it? Okay, switch it up. He thinks you're broke. It's just a generous gesture, that's all. Brokenness aside. It's a very Asian thing to do. Fighting for the check? Nah, my brother will happily let me pay for him. Oh my god. There's people like that for sure. They're the oh, you wanna pay? Oh, thank you. I love you so much. You're the best. Can you pay it again next time? And next time? And next time? You're just like, Pay up. Pay up, biatch. Businessman and shit? Oh my god. Between brothers? Sheesh. It's probably he has no issue paying for me, so when I offer, he can't refuse. In this economy, you just gotta eat out with people who refuse to not pay for dinners. Wow. Jeez. Jesus. Saying that kind of... Rien for you will never get a meal out from me. Politeness in this economy? If it's my idea to grab food, I'll pay it for a +2, pay forward or whatever. That's fair. I think, yeah, if you're inviting and it's all in a good nature, then whatever. I mean, it's kind of fun, you know? Just bring someone over, or like, you know, like bring someone to go eat something new. It's like your idea. Take the initiative, you know? Doesn't hurt being nice once in a while. Can't think of yourself too much. And certainly can't think highly of yourself too much. Let's see. Almost done here. So in Topre lubing, because the rails are a pretty small surface area, less is more. So when it comes to using these micro applicators, I put a very minimal amount of lube on them. Not very capital, zero sum of you. I just don't really like eating out that much. I don't know. I get sick of it too, eating out. It's good, but sometimes just don't crave the, you know, because the problem with eating out is that restaurants or like, you know, just places outside, like, you know, where you buy food, they try to go for a very strong flavor in general. So like the flavors feel a little overwhelming after eating out a lot of times, that kind of stuff. It's just a little too much. So sometimes just a home cooked meal or something like more bland, more simple is fine at home, like something chill, easy to make kind of thing. Or even just even if it's just a cooked meal, a home cooked meal, as opposed to like something from a restaurant. Yeah, it's just hits diff. But I think that's part of why I personally don't eat out as much, as like money aside. So yeah. Last one was KBBQ with drinks. Felt that one? Ooh, that one's expensive. Oh. Yeah, KBBQ with drinks. That spell, buddy. That spell for the wallet. Those are spendy. With drinks. Wow. Damn. But still fun. Alright, so that's done for those guys. We can just double check some of them. So usually a very telltale sign of lube is gonna be when you put the sliders on, the lube is going to stop a little bit of the motion down. Oops, this is kind of loose, I guess, but it's definitely, you can definitely tell it's on there for these other ones. Some of these corner housings are sometimes a little bit loose though. It can be annoying to rotate. Yeah, this one's kind of annoying. Falls off rather easily. I'll just take it out for now. Okay, so it doesn't really get completely stuck, but you can definitely see the lube has a little bit of drag. So the lube is there. I trust that it's everywhere, but let's go ahead and check the stabilizers. So the stabs look to be some kind of plate mount stab. So here This one looks like these are the clips, I think. These are the clips on the sides. So I'm gonna unclip it on each side and take it all out one at a time. And then I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble it for the wire. So it came right off pretty easily. So let's see, just need to lube the wire, I think. It already has some amount of lubricant in it. But it's not too much. So I think I can just go ahead and lube the wire and the inside of the slider here where it goes. Actually, that might be a little bit difficult. Doesn't come off, huh? Looks like it has a stopper for it. So actually the slider doesn't come right off that easily. Yeah, I'm not gonna force it. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm actually just gonna loop the wire only. So I'm gonna grab a brush and some 205. So yeah, this particular Realforce has all MX sliders, including for the stabs. And the housings do look to be a little bit different too. So just want to get a loop for the contact points. Typically a lot of the kind of rattle will come from the tip end of the wire. So I usually just apply a little bit extra loop on there. And then, all right, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, I think that should be good. Comes up. Let's do the same for the other side. Okay, so that's that, and then we can reinstall our stabs. So just from the bottom side. Just carefully install them like that. Make sure they sit. And now do the same for the other ones. We just lubing this board? Yeah, just lubing this board. Pretty much what I was asked, it was just lubing. So pretty chill stream today. Just lubing, modding, chatting. Not much, not much. Yeah. I was literally just sent the board and that was it. They're like, oh, can you just tune it up? I was like, all right, sure. Oh, Brandon, hello. How are you? Been a minute. Happy New Year. Professor Diego. What's up, Elvin? How are you? I've been good. Hope you've been well. I've been pretty well. Staying busy. Your tenure? Tenure? Like tenure track? No. I'm out of academia, buddy. I'm not in school anymore. Be intrigued to hear how this turns out. Yeah, same. I actually am not sure. It kind of feels more like an MX board tuning, but the rest is the same as a regular Topre OEM, like the individual slider stuff, individual housings. But the stabs are pretty typical plate mount type, and the plate mount typically doesn't tune that well, to be quite honest with you. Like you tune it a bit, but it kills a little bit of the extra sound that comes out of it, but it's never like perfect, I would say. It'll get rid of a little bit of the decent bit of the rattle and the pinginess that comes from the stab though. As it is, they didn't sound that bad in their stock form, the stabs. But they definitely did sound like they needed a little bit extra help. One thing I feel like they would help a little bit is those gaskets that go in between the housings and this frame, because I feel like the plate it's not loose, but the housings do feel a little bit wobbly. So as I was just doing the lubing on the sliders, I was thinking, oh, maybe this could benefit from something like that, because this is bent steel, but the housings do feel a little bit looser than on regular steel RF plates, for example. A little bit more robust fastening of the housings could be helpful, but I'm not sure we have too much, because it's not like you're shaking the board or anything like that. The individual like 1Us seemed to sound okay earlier when I tried. Just stock, that is. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. What's your Topre board recommendations for a first timer? It really depends on your preferred layout, I think. The recommendations are quite well delineated depending on the choice of layout. If you're okay with HKB layout though, HKB is probably my recommendation. But otherwise, like on any of the versions of the Realforce, like you know, R1, R2, etc., are also pretty good. If you were like, you know, just wanted like a TKL, right? 65%. There's the 660C, the Leopold. And I guess nowadays you get options to do custom electric capacitive, which I guess is not necessarily the most first timer friendly, but it exists as an option if you can't live with the other layouts. Easiest rec is definitely a Realforce though. Yeah, like a Realforce R2, or I mean, if you're okay with the learning curve of the HKB layout, then an HKB Classic or HKB Hybrid. is perfectly fine. But Realforce R2 also probably one of the better experiences out of box. It all depends also where you buy it. Yeah, HKB for 60, Realforce R2 for TKL, RC1 for 75, 980C for 1800, and 660 for 65. Yeah, that's all pretty much on point for layout-based Topre recommendations. Yep. What if I want a 40? Ooh. Tougher. Tougher for sure. I think there are some EC kits that are like 40 friendly. But I know Mason's not asking that seriously. How Mason does not need any other board when he has the compensator. Not even any 40% can top that one. Compensator EC when? For real, for real. Have you finished school? Yes, yes, yes. I've been done with school for about half a year. A little less. A little more? Actually, no. No, yeah, it's about half a year, yeah. Finished back in July or so. I just work a job like everybody else. Diego, have you seen the 21XX is rumored to drop sometime soon? Oh yeah? The 21XX, isn't that the Pontus board? I mean, I know about it because he and his friends talk about it all the time in my server. That's Mexi HKB Pro 1, lovely. That boy's stock? No, it's not stock. I don't, I'm sorry, but I don't do stock Topre. I'm sorry, but stock Topre sucks. Stock Topre is horrible. Especially on older models. It's, ugh. Nope, not for me. Not for me. What's your favorite Topre board? HKB for sure. That's a no-brainer for me. HKB is my favorite Topre board. easy choice. All right, let's which HKB? Like Pro, like any of the pros is fine, to be honest. Pro 2, Pro Classic, Pro Hybrid, like they're all fine. It kind of, I think for me the best HKB is whichever is the most convenient one for you to get. To be quite honest, you can be a stickler for collecting, like I am myself, and collect specific ones, but I'll be honest with you, it's a chore, and the difference is that actually for a lot of the older models, it's a bit of a lottery. Like domes might not be great, or you might end up with problems here and there. Storage conditions matter. In a lot of cases, you also have to mod them. Most cases, I would argue for all them older models like Pro 2 and older, you have to definitely mod them. Modding them is not that difficult, but it's still a chore nonetheless. Pro Classics do come pretty nice out of the box, Pro Classics and Pro Hybrids. But yeah, I would say, just in general, I think the best HKB is the one that's most accessible and easily attainable for you. And if you want to mod it, you know, it's not that hard. It's a mixed bag though. Yeah, for especially if you're hunting for old secondhand stuff, it's a mixed bag. Do you have a Pro 2? I do have a Pro 2, yes. I started with a Pro 2. That was my first HKB. If you had to pick stock Topre or stock Cherry, I mean, okay, if it's an HKB Pro Classic as it is today, like right now, Pro Topre for sure, because stock is not that bad. But if it were old stock Topre versus old like older stock Cherry, it's debatable. There's some awful stock Cherry and there's some awful stock Topre, in my opinion. So yeah, I personally am not huge on stock Topre though. Like I know some people are purists about it, and they're like, gotta get my board stock, but just yeah, it's not that good. My Pro 1 is a bit too tactile. Yeah. So the aging of the domes can be a bit of a hit or miss as well. More marinated domes equating to better tactility, or more kind of like crispier tactility for some. I've tried a few Pro 2 with domes that were just a little too snappy, kind of reminiscent of BK, even though they weren't. But like very snappy, very sharp, and at some points kind of heavy feeling even. But for me, the best Topre domes are just standard OEM 45 gram domes are the best domes in my opinion. Someone was asking me whether they should dome swap, and I was like, if you already like the domes that you have on your board, I will say no. Don't dome swap. It's so much work. 55 gram is too heavy for me. Okay for modifiers and such, but alphas, like the entire board uniform 55 is quite heavy, very heavy. Feels a little too much for like a full day of work on something like that. The only time I think a dome swap is necessary is if you really want heavy. Yeah, I agree. I think that's usually why people dome swap. Oh, I actually no, never mind. I do know some people who have been chasing that super light dome swap, like the 35 gram or whatever. A super light dome swap. Some people just like that stuff. I mean, this is like back in the day when people would talk about Gateron clears. So I guess there's people who do want that super light experience, but yeah, not for me. I'm right in the middle of the range, I would say. The legendary Hello Kitty 30-gram domes. Yeah. There's some other ones too. There's some other vintage-ish Topre that have like 25-gram type of domes as well. Breathe. Yeah, you breathe and the gat clears registers. Yeah. It's I did have a gat clear board actually at some point. Obviously didn't last too long with it because I was not a huge fan. It's just too late for me. Okay. So let's see how many sliders fall off from this when I flip it over. I know this one was going to. Oh, okay. Not bad. Okay, it was just this one that was kind of loose. But it's usually these corner keys, for whatever reason, like to be a little finicky. Okay, good. Need to put our PCB back and test it out. Because it's not a complete build until we test it. So I just need to realign some of these strays here. Okay. Okay, so let me see if there's... So sometimes you can use these like longer posts as guides because there are little indentations on the PCB to guide you. So I tend to first just take a quick look from the above. It's a little harder with this because the bent steel case is covering the rust. Just kind of have to eyeball it in this one. Actually, there's some clarity with the screw holes, so you can also use that as a guide as well. There. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's flip it over. Gotta be careful. Always two hands to hold all this together. And then flip it over. Okay. So before I do anything, I'm just gonna make sure some of these lined up. Okay. So I think they're fine, but let's put a few screws first, and then we can talk. So let's just put a couple of these screws here. Do you just hunt for HKVs on Mech Market, or do you have a plug? Yeah, I just look on Mech Market. Some people look on like Japanese websites. Like there's like what's that? like Mercari or like Yahoo Auctions Japan, that kind of stuff. You can look over there too every so often. It doesn't have to be frequent. But the only problem is anything imported, you know, it's kind of a gamble and you're paying a bunch for shipping, so, you know, there's a little bit of that. So yeah, your mileage may vary with that stuff. So just keep that in mind, at least. It's an option though. Okay, I put a few screws in just to test, kind of like generally speaking, if the domes sound fine. Okay. The domes were pretty unperturbed, so it looks like alignment is okay on them. So I can continue putting the screws on. Silence HKB or nah? Personally, I like silence HKB. You know, some people prefer it more stock, closer to stock, but I prefer silenced myself. Kimchi Jori boy. Holy shit. That's a name I haven't seen in a minute. Hi. How are you? How are you doing? Where you been? How's life? I forget, was this screw here? I think it was, yeah. And then there was this one here. And this one, I don't know if this one was here. No, that was here. Been living life, dipped a toe back in the hobby? Really? How come? What's of interest now? Welcome back though. It's good to see ya. I'm still doing my thing, you know, just chilling, building stuff every so often. Dio, what happened to my index finger? Oh, I got burned. You made me drop a screw, Mr. Kupo. That's your fault. I'm blaming you on that one. I dropped the screw. Let me go find it. It's gone? Yeah. Chances, right? Oh, I found it. Whew. These screws are tiny too, so it's like a pain in the butt losing them. Yeah, good thing it fell just right below. But could have rolled under like a piece of furniture or something like that. Picked up a Type K looking into the EC kit. Oh, very nice. I actually am going to build one of those at some point. I have a friend local to me who wanted a Type K built. And so I should be doing one. I think they got an EC kit as well. So I'll probably get to that at some point. Yeah, should be sooner than later, hopefully. have to wait for extras. Got mine aftermarket. Ah, got it, got it, got it. Gotcha. Comes with Desky number 5 rings, and I think it dampens too much. Number 5 is quite thick. Isn't number 5 like the thickest they have? How come they did that? Why didn't they send number 3s? Shouldn't they know from their sales that that's the most popular one, probably? I feel like number 3s are what most people tend to get. Maybe not. Maybe people get different ones now. But I thought number 3 was considered to be like the medium choice. Wanted to let go of inventory? Maybe, but for everybody? Okay. Alright, let's just test the stabs real quick though before I just put everything back together. Although I think technically I can still put some lube in here if I wanted to, but let's just test it anyway. Hopefully I put them on the right orientation and everything. Well, it's gonna sound a little hollow because there's nothing underneath. Okay, at least it's not ticking. That's good. It's just the upstroke sound. Better than before, I think. Saw on the Discord that people had DBE issues. Oh, really? I have to say, not because I didn't get a Type K myself. I haven't really looked too carefully at the whether there are potential issues and whatnot. I've heard there have been some issues, but the customer support has been okay. That said, it was a pretty large buy too, right? So if enough people have the issue, I imagine they'll make amends. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, spacebar. They did have some concerns with it, so let's see. If it's ticking. Not sure if it's no. It's just the upstroke sound, I think. Sounds the same as the other ones. Could be the fitment of the caps on these Co-Star cherry like stabs or whatever. Actually more like cherry, but kind of different. It's an interesting choice. Sounds better than before though, so that's good. Gonna hold building my Type K until Kevin posts about the DBs. That's a shame. I guess I'll well, good to know. I'll have to test mine. Oh, well, not mine, but my friends. I'll have to test that everything's good with that one too, because smoke? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's so freaky. Smoke out of a PCB? Sheesh. How is that even possible? Like, isn't that like a voltage or a current regulation issue or something like that? Like, did a resistor go missing or something? Or rather, do we have a big ass resistor somewhere? What's going on? Smelled magic smoke with mine, but didn't see any? What the heck? Crazy. Let's screw this one all the way in, I think. Kevin in Discord, it loses power rail ESD protection. The data line ESD protection remains functional, so 99% nothing's gonna happen with the faulty one. But we will make it right. Oh, interesting. Huh. Yeah, that's must be a faulty manual process for sure. Okay, actually sounds a little better now that all the screws are on. Okay, good. Okay, I guess the next step, since we're here, before I put it all the way back into the case, I should probably just give it a quick test before I close it up. So just plug in our cable and just test it out, I guess. So let me just do that. Ooh, LEDs turned on this. Oh, or all on and then off. Okay, let's test. Mis ojos. Okay, that's good. And let's go ahead and fit everything else in, I guess. So let's just make sure we route this properly. So I believe the case just kind of fits on right there, like that. Pretty simple assembly. And then we have these big screws for the case. Communication with Typless and NK have been good. That's good. That's good. That's good. It's always good to hear that people are having a good time with the retailers, customer support and stuff. Especially considering that we have people who are failing to abide by that. So yeah. And then, so you fasten it from there, and you also need to fasten it from above. So these have smaller screws. Let's start from here. Screw right in the middle. All right, I think that's it. okay, pretty good. No, not uneven. Nothing bulging or anything weird. I think, yep, it's all good. Alright, great. Fantastic. Screw, 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 screw. Yes, a lot of screws. Alright, so this is done. I can always put back the same keycaps it came with, but I can also put other ones too, if you want me to. If you wanted to see it with different caps, I can do that as well. I can always just put these on at the end before I send it back. Alright. If no one has much to say, I can just put the same ones. GMK Wasabi. Alright. Let's just do that. Why not? What's your stance on Wasabi? Like the key set? I personally like it without the sub legends a little bit more, but the sub legend version's okay. I think it looks cleaner without sub legends. But in terms of the contrast on the like for the colors of the set, it's pretty good. Can we see this Blue Alert R2? It hasn't shipped. Not yet. I think it's in production still, actually. I was told it would be maybe done by hopefully by the end of the month. Hopefully. All things considered, I just realized that because this keyboard came with this set, I actually don't know what the stock keycaps on this look like, but I assume they're like the ones with they're probably ones with the RGB compatibility with the whatchamacallit, see-through legends or whatever. Shine through legends, I assume. I need my 5 sets, Diego. I was promised Q1. Hey, look. Q1 ends in March. So as long as it delivers before the end of yeah, like before the end of March, I guess. It's fine. It's still Q1, right? It's like a lot quieter now, the board. We'll see how it sounds though. Once I'm done with the caps here. There seems to be no interference in the home row, as is native MX compatible Topre. Why are there no nice Topre keycaps? Because they don't release them. They don't make them much. That's why. Alright, as is tradition, we can put some artisans on this. I don't know what to put. Let's see, let's go get some. Let's see. Oh no, I don't have. Oh, I have something sort of black and green, I guess. And put this little ghost from Doohickeys. Kind of cute. Something that matches this wasabi. Maybe this one, this bongo for escape could be cute. Something that matches that for escape. And then maybe some darker ones on the. Maybe I'll just put the one piece one, and maybe I'll just do blanks for the top right cluster. I'll do that. Is that a side cap? Where? I do have a side cap, yeah. The orangish one, the peachish color. Yeah. That is a side cap indeed. Expired pops could look nice. Oh yeah, that would work too. Yeah, actually, you know that could work too. Yeah, that would work as well. I think actually this color matches slightly better, but the expired one also looks pretty good, pretty close, a little brighter. All right, look at that. We got our Realforce. Sorry about the background noise. Obviously, sound of home stuff. All right, let's see. Let's see. How do I type on this? Let's type on this. So let's try it out. And if you want to look at it from the side, you also can, like that. Look at that low profile action over here. Just running the cable around. Look how low this sits. This sits super low. Like, front height is like non-existent. Front height of like, I don't even fucking know. This shit's like not even a centimeter. Barely a centimeter. This is a plastic plate? No, this is going to be a steel. This is bent steel. Actually, maybe I'll fix the maybe let me fix the command for that. So let's see. It is built with Topre 45 electric capacitives. Actually, housings are lubed with TriboSys 3204 and have OEM silencing rings, and stabilizers are lubed with Keycaps 205G0. Plate is bent stainless steel. And then keycaps are GMK Wasabi. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna move the mic over so that we can try typing on this. Okay, so audio is good, I think. So yeah, let's try typing on this. So if you go back on the VOD, you can kind of sort of hear how it sounded at the beginning, but then this is sort of the end result after opening it up and touching it up with lube for the stabs as well as the individual housings. So let's try it out, shall we? Sorry about any background noise. Just bear with it. Here goes. Alright, so Topre GX1 modded. Alright, here we go. So I think it sounds very vastly different from like standard HKV or RF even, because the case is it's just open, right? And so like it's just a bent steel portion with a plastic enclosure at the bottom, and so kind of feels like the sound escapes a little bit more compared to like a regular Realforce TKL. But still has that Topre sound because it is still Topre after all. So I can try it again if you wanted to hear it again. I know there's some noise in the back, so here it goes once again. So there's that sound from this one. All right, here are the mods. There it is. A little bit more muted than stock. So, sort of what Lube Topre will do. HKV sounds very different from this, right? So this is what HKV sounds like. So very, very different sound. This also is, you know, an ABS, completely plastic housing, plastic plate and everything. So this construction is all pretty much all plastic, and so HKV has a very, very distinct sound to among Topre keyboards that I personally really like, but some people prefer the more metal. I mean, not to mention the layout. You know, some people just prefer the TKL, and so we'll go for a TKL sound, and so it's very, you know, it's vastly different, right? What keyboard do you use at work? Right now, I took the HHKV Studio actually. The demo unit that I had at first, the black one. So I have that at work. It was pretty nice actually for work purposes. I don't really use the little nub, so I personally don't care for it. But as far as like the HKV Studio, actually it was fine to use at work. And I also have an HKV, like a regular Topre HKV, and I briefly took a TKL for a bit, but then I just decided to stick with the HKVs over there. Yeah. So I just use HKV pretty much at work. Yeah. But yeah, that's this. The Realforce GX1. If you want to take a look at it from the side, it just looks like that. It's quite simple. Quite a simple assembly. So yeah. So take a look at it from the top here. Can get rid of that. And have you tried the Realforce RC1? No, that's the 75% one that people talk about. No, I haven't tried it yet. I have not tried that. Do people ever stop by and ask why your keyboard looks the way it does? Surprisingly, no. I think people kind of know, either know or assume it's a custom keyboard, and I feel like people haven't asked. There's one person who asked, like another engineer, and he was like, "Oh, that's really cool," and I was like, "Oh, thanks." But otherwise, people are just kind of uninterested, relatively. I think they just kind of assume that it's like a keyboard I brought from home, but yeah. Hey, that skull keycap is cool. Where can I buy one? I mean, it's not like you can't buy one. I can always direct them to the place to buy one. It won't be cheap, I guess, if in current market, like, you know, current rate. What's the date on the Pro 1? This one is 2005 May. Serial number 4441. You can see the unevenness of the yellowing at the bottom. Older than me? Directing unsuspecting bystanders to mech market. Enabling is my best profession. Peak. Hey buddy, your keyboard doesn't have a numpad. Oh, I actually haven't heard that one. I think people know what a TKL is, at least, or like a 60%, so I think that's fine. But the HKB definitely invites a little bit of a look. It's like the, what the hell is the, where's the control key, or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is the build. Pretty simple as it goes, but you can check it out up close if you want. Oops, sorry about that. Actually, I don't know how to turn on the LEDs on this. Maybe I should look it up. There was a manual, but I think I can just look it up. Topre GX1 manual. What are the... Where's the software? I don't know what the lighting control is to turn it on so you can see the RGBs. Or I don't even know if it's that RGB heavy, but here it is. A function key, change in illumination, function insert. Ooh, gamer modes. Oh, look at that. It's for gamers. Extra RGB for pro gaming. and cool PC build thingies. I mean, RGB can be pretty cool, but yeah. Thank you. Yes, there you go. There. So as you can see, my partner decided to also turn off the lights so you can actually see it. Ta-da! RGBs up close. Okay, it's super dark. So there you have it. All right, I guess I should probably wrap it up here. It's almost midnight now, so I guess I will be wrapping things up. So if you guys have anything else, I guess let me know. But if not, I will probably see you guys pretty soon again for more builds. I do have a couple of client builds coming up. I mentioned the Type K earlier. I have a Type K to build. I have an Aurora Input Series, I think 80, the TKL from Oblatsky client build. I also have a few other builds. I have the Synovia from Bion. I think they're working with some other vendors. I forget who. I can provide more info on that once I have it. I'll get to try the L'Orange switches, the orange switches from Bowl and Gateron and his collaborator. I'll get to try those on the Synovia at some point as well. And then what else do I have? Oh yes, I forgot to show this. I had this at the beginning of the stream, but I forgot to show it. But I got this Turn to Wood premium puller from Wheat and you know, Regalicious. I believe he had been talking about making custom pullers, and so they sent out just a quick sample of just the puller. It's just a gigantic puller. It's just a block of resin with a keycap puller. Chonky. It's not. You guys thought it was going to be a fancy puller. It's not. It's just a chunk of resin. It's just a chunky piece of resin with a keycap puller wires on it. But actually, this is kind of useful. It kind of reminds me of a hockey stick. Actually, reminds me of the time I repurposed a hockey stick, like stick base, to make a made it into a what is that? A bottle opener. Because the stick was already broken, so we just like sanded it off and put bottle opening end on it. But yeah, it has some little cool little swirls. Big thanks to Wheat for sending this out. But I'll be using this. It's pretty nice. Actually, very easy to spot from everywhere. This big blue block. But yeah, it's a little comical though. It's like about almost as long as the HKB, I guess. It's like 4/5 the length or 2/3 the length. I don't know. Quite the chonky board. Oh, there's more. Just kidding. There's a nice one as well. And here's a nice one. There's the wood. This one is actually going to be wood and resin bonded with each other, and so you get nice swirly resin with wooden sides like that. So this one is actually like an actual puller, but it's comical to compare the size of these two. You get quite different dimensions on this. So if you compare it with some of the other pullers that I have the Alchemy one kind of right in the middle, and then we got, like, I think I have some standard ones. I think this might be just one of those like OEM ones, random ones that you get, kind of similar to this one. But yeah, this is by Wheat and Regalicious. Oops. So They're called, I'll write it in the chat, turned wood pullers by Regalicious and Wheat. You can hit criminals intruding your house while you're pulling out keycaps with this. Yes, like, or just let my puller fly out as I pull a keycap and I just let it go and it'll hit them in the face, right? And then it'll probably hit my partner and then she'll get really mad at me, and then yeah, or Kiwi will get mad at me. Alright, I should wrap it up, but it's kind of late. So, let's see. Looks like Patty is live right now. She's just yapping, it says. Just chatting. So we can go raid Patty. But otherwise, guys, I shall see you for the next stream. I'm not sure whether it will be the Synovia or a client build, but it'll be either a prototype or a client build, but it'll probably happen later in the week. This week, actually, it's just a busy week, so I currently don't have the exact time set in stone, but you'll see me go live. I'll drop the ping, of course, in my Discord, usually around the same time, evening, Eastern time, US. I usually stream, so I'll see you guys then. And Suzu, I'm doing well. Thank you. Just FYI, limited edition is sold out now. Oh, congrats, Frank. Congrats. I hope that so if you guys don't know, Mr. Inamoshiki over here in the chat is the designer for the ASCII F current 65% plus numpad board that I reviewed last time, and a very nice board for those looking for, you know, semi-compact with numpad kind of layout. But it starts at $250, I think, and goes all the way up to like $450. Very nicely priced. But best of luck, my friend. All right, I shall now wrap it up though and go raid Patty. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you guys later. Take it easy. Good night. Take care. Have a good rest of your week. Don't be stuck in meetings like myself. But yeah, have a good one. Have a good evening. Have a good morning, whatever it is. Have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you guys later this week. Okay? Bye-bye. Good night.